I'm Michaela Gaffney. Today we're going to be examining Facebook's communication following the 2016 general election. Social media has changed the way we do things, from making friends to running a business or running for office of the United States of America. In 2016, following the general election, reports started to be released that tens of millions of people's personal data had been released to political firms linked to Donald Trump. In addition, Russian hackers had been paying for advertisements that spread fake news all over the social media giant, and using Facebook Messenger to connect with high-ranking political officials and release classified information. So what is the problem? Well, first of all, Facebook has a long history of not standing by their code of conduct. Facebook has long been known as a haven for violence and hate speech, and Facebook moderators have long had troubles keeping up, trying to keep these things off of their platform. But in 2016, things took a turn for the worst when the New York Times released a statement saying, Facebook users learned that the company had compromised their privacy in its rush to expand, allowing access to the personal information of tens of millions of people to a political data firm linked to Donald Trump. Russian hackers had appeared to be messaging people related to the candidacy of Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton and releasing information. In addition, they were paying for advertisements. So who was involved? Mark Zuckerberg, the CEO and founder, was primarily involved with this investigation. Another key player to note is Sheryl Sandberg. Sheryl Sandberg is the chief operating officer and has been a board member since 2009. She's one of the reasons that this information didn't get relayed to the public until months after the initial allegations. In the spring of 2016, a Facebook employee approached Ms. Sandberg with the reports that Russian accounts were probing political official accounts and trying to contact them. Sheryl Sandberg discouraged this employee from digging further, afraid that it might open up the company to lawsuits. When Time magazine released information saying that Facebook had been a victim of hacking, Facebook fell silent. After pressure from the media, Facebook sought to deflect blame and mask the extent of the problem. Facebook executive Mark Zuckerberg even went as far as to say, personally, the idea that fake news on Facebook influenced the election in any way is a pretty crazy idea. In September of 2017, Mark Zuckerberg was planning on releasing a blog post outlining the extent of interference from Russian hackers. When presented to Ms. Sandberg, the chief operating officer, Ms. Sandberg demanded that many of these details be taken out. In fact, in this report in 2017, the word Russia was not mentioned one time. In addition, it was released and said that 50 million accounts had been compromised. When Time released their bombshell report the following day, they reported that 87 million accounts had been compromised. So not only did Facebook blatantly deny the charges, they deflected the extent of it and tried to downplay the problem. Mark Zuckerberg, Sheryl Sandberg, and other executives at Facebook would benefit greatly from learning about image restoration theory. The image restoration theory states that by denying a charge you're most certainly guilty of, you create dissent among your consumer base. In Facebook's case, the statements they released immediately following the crisis directly contradicted what independent reviews had found. This led to 47% of Facebook users, or over 1 billion people, taking a break from the social media giant. Not only that, but their stocks dropped over $100 billion. With stocks plummeting and board members in panic, executives continued to deflect from the problem and try to downplay the severity of events. It wasn't until April of 2018, after being summoned for a congressional hearing, that Mark Zuckerberg said the words everyone was waiting to hear. It was my mistake, and I'm sorry. I started Facebook, and I'm responsible for what happens there. So what happened in response? Well, it was the biggest privacy scandal of the decade. Facebook lost over $100 billion, lost credibility, lost a consumer base. In fact, 47% of Facebook users took a break from the site. There's a few lessons to take away from Facebook's mistakes. The first is that active engagement with your company is essential to maintaining a good handle on the information. In Facebook's case, executives weren't even aware of some of the problems or decisions that were being made. Once a crisis hit, employees were scrambling just to find out what was true and what was not, impacting their ability to communicate with the public. Once the facts were collected, Facebook refused to communicate with the public and own up to the full extent of their actions. In conclusion, either executives at Facebook blatantly lied about the scope of the problem, or the executives were so far removed from the security aspect of their job that they genuinely had no idea the damage that had happened on their platform. In either case, the responses following these events have only solidified the stereotype that Facebook is known as a breeding ground for the misinformed and the willfully ignorant. Thank you.